Ramaphosa is now addressing traditional leaders and residents in Malamulele.
Manje loko mumutwili loko atala ubule kahle isitsonga so nikarhi na mudyondzisa loko ni heta kwalaho ndangena ka secretary general na yena ni mufaka xikolo munghenisa xikolo and then ta hetisela hi deputy secretary general Lakta kuri ba tiva Vha-Venda na Xichangani loko comrade Paul na mina se hi khetiwile hi nghenela ka top 6 kuve na ti SMS to tala ti fambaka manjeni va ri yo kwa hisa manjeni se kwa hisa ku fana na le Limpopo manjeni Bari no, ka top 6 kungene vanhu va le Limpopo. Lava kusungula hi ku xeweta vandla vezitha na mahosi ya hina hinkwawo. Ni tlhe ni xeweta na varhangeli va ANC ka province leyi ya hina na ka region leyi ya hina. Ni vonile na van'wani va huma kule mumpani va kona a mi rungula hinkwerhu se mi swi tile ku ri ni famba na top 6 va deputy president hosi Mwamwitwa loko mi karhi mi vulavula hi RLU leyi ya n'wina leyi Royal Leaders Unit na hina ina yona ina munhu loyi mi vitaka unity haleluya so loko ani tivi ku ri ku sungule mani ku sungule n'wina kambe yena so mari ni hleketa ku ri ku sungule n'wina swa endleka ku ri mi mu khokasile loko ya conference hi ku se hi sungule hi twa DD Mabuza a vulavula hi unity swa vonaka manjeni ku ri wu yi kumela ka n'wina unity leyi na national chairperson wa hina na yena murungula na secretary general wa hina comrade Ace Mashashule na deputy secretary general manje deputy secretary general loyi hi kombela ku ri nga ha muteki hi ku u tekwe hi van'wani le mahosi a le Vha-Venda va mutekile va se va mendle makhadzi loko va vona deputy secretary general a va ha ku DSG va ku makhadzi so u tekiwile so mi nga mu nyiki vito rin'wana la na mutukulu wa n'wina la comrade Paul nto yin'wana a ku hi mutukulu wa ka manimani a ni khomanga kahle vito ra kona mari ni ta ri lava i mutukulu wa kola hi khensa ngopfu ku va kola xikarhi ka n'wina a ku yime hosi Majeje manje mina ni mu tiva a ri mulunghisi wa ka Ntsangwisi so u bule hi swa 1976 u endle mistake a yi ri swin'we le University of the North in 1974 a hi marcha hi ya police station a ri kona na yena professor wa hina Mushenkondo na mani va Nkondo I think a va ri under banning or abakhomiwile, one of the two. Our lecturer yaina, he was already, Professor Nkondo was already showing his ANC colors at the University of the North, and he was under banning at that time. So Mlungisi Ntsangwisi Hosi Majeje, you see, National Chairperson, Hosi Majeje, who stood here, I was with him at university. Now, he's now a traditional leader. I must have done something wrong that I'm not a traditional leader. Because if I had done what he did, I would have been a traditional leader. And I would Hosi Ramaphosa Namina. But the story he was trying to tell about 1976, the year was not 76, it was 1974. He was amongst us as students at the University of the North, and we went to the police station. Now, Mozambique had become independent. Frelimo had been successful in their struggle, and the Caetano government had fallen in Portugal. So we were celebrating the independence of Mozambique. So we organized pro-Frelimo rallies. And then one of our leaders, Sidibe, was arrested. And we went to the police station to demand his release. I was already the chairperson of SASO at the time. So off we go to the police station, and when we got there, the police, and it was almost the whole student body, the police said, look, you've been orderly in coming here. We want you to be very orderly as you stage your protest here. But all we want is Cyril Ramaphosa to come forward into the police station. And there I was, stupidly. I stood up amongst the students and went into the police station without thinking that this is a trap. So Ningena, I go into the police station. I'm 22 years old, and I think, yeah, they recognize that I'm a leader. They need my skills. And as soon as I got into the police station, they told the SRC leadership that you can go now. Cyril Ramaphosa is under arrest. And what Hosi Majeje was trying to say, when he said, this is not 1976, which was his mistake, he wanted to say 74. He said, no, even if there are police outside, don't worry, things are okay. Because as soon as the police said Cyril Ramaphosa is under arrest, they said the SRC must leave. The SRC went out and told the student body, we must all leave now. And they all left and left me right in the police station. So they still have a big debt to pay to me. Because as I meet my fellow students, they all say, we're very sorry we left you at the police station till today. So it's a real pleasure to see Hosi Majeje. Nangwina, Professor Nkondo, it's a real pleasure to see you. You remain one of those intellectuals in our country who has always been constant, committed to our struggle, and also to sharpening the intellectual prowess of many of us who are involved in the hurly-burly of things in government and also in NGOs. The national chairperson has already defined what has brought us here. I'm not going to add much more because we are here as the top six. We are here to come and report to our traditional leaders, as we did right in January after the conference and ahead of the January 8th celebrations following the 54th conference. We started off by going to KZN to go and see the king of our people, King Nzhelele, and then we went to Eastern Cape and saw the kings of our people in the Eastern Cape, and today we've been to Zanani to go and see King Toni and other traditional leaders, Toni Ramapbulana, and today we are here and we have the privilege of meeting with many of our horses and ndabezitas to meet with you. This is a real honor for us. You honor us with your presence here. Us having requested that we should meet you, you have come in your numbers to come and meet with us. Our real purpose is to reconnect with all of you as an important stakeholder in our country, as leaders of our people, but more importantly, as a core of people who originated the African National Congress. It was through your effort, through your vision, the vision that your forebears had, that the African National Congress was formed into the glorious organization that it is today. If it was not because of your vision, if it was not because of the effort that you as traditional leaders through your forebears put into the existence of the ANC, we would not be where we are today as a nation and as a country. So our journey today has brought us here, and we call it a revolutionary pilgrimage. We are here to connect with you because you are part of our heritage. We are an organization that is steeped in tradition. We have a democratic tradition, but we also have a heritage, and we are an organization that has roots. We are not what I call a Mafikizolo type of organization. We are 106 years old. We've been around for quite a long time, and that has made us to have roots. And our roots run deep into the hearts and the minds of our people. Our roots run deep into the various layers of leaders in our country. And you are one of those key layers. And in fact, the layer that you belong to is right at the bottom, where it holds this tree called the African National Congress in place, because it was you who formed the African National Congress together with the religious leaders of our country and a number of highly educated people and a number of ordinary people who gathered together on the 8th of January in 1912 in Mangaung in the province of the Free State. So what brings us here is to connect with you, to have a moment to meet with yourselves, but to also renew our bonds with you. This is the ANC renewing its bonds with the traditional leaders of our people. To say to you, the African National Congress is here with you, to serve you, to address whatever challenges and problems that you may have as you go on with the task of leading our people. It is you who has placed the ANC where it is. Today, the African National Congress is the governing party of South Africa and has been that since 1994. We are a governing party because when you formed us, you said, we want you as the vehicle of unity to go ahead and do what we would ordinarily have wanted to do. But we're giving you the task. Go and unite our people. Go and free our people. Working with us, working with the people as a whole. And you said, go and turn South Africa into a non-racial, non-sexist, democratic, and a prosperous country. That is the mission that you gave us as the African National Congress. And that mission came from you as our traditional leaders. Having given us this mission, yes, it took us 82 years before we could get into government. It took us quite a long time, but we know one thing: you were working with us, you were in the trenches with us, you were part of the motive forces that enabled us to be victorious in 1994. That's what you were. Now we thank you for that. We are here to say thank you for your loyal and continued presence in the affairs of our people. We are here to say thank you for being the real engine of change in our country. And we thank you for having given us this mandate. So today, we are also here to report back. We've just held the 54th conference, and we took it upon ourselves as a task that we will go around the country to meet all the key stakeholders who make up the African National Congress. Traditional leaders, religious leaders, of course our people in their various formations, ordinary people in the streets of our townships, in the streets of our villages, where many of you are. Those are the people that we have to go back to and report back. But we also said we will also go and visit the first leaders of our movement. We will go and visit their graves. We will go and visit their monuments. And by so doing, we are renewing the history of the African National Congress, but we are also renewing the history of South Africa, because the history of South Africa is intricately linked with the history of the African National Congress and vice versa. So this is the mission that we are involved in. We have come here also to report to you. We held the 54th conference of the African National Congress. Now, Banubotala Abahlekete Kuri conference lay Irikona le Anazrek. Itaba conference ya kuhetisela ya ANC. Botala bahlekete kuri no ANC yona itaba na tombstone kolaya. Ban batar loko bahlaya tombstone ya kona itaba itsalwe, here lies the African National Congress, which tried to hold its 54th conference, which collapsed, and it is now buried here. That is what many people thought. But we defied all those predictions. Ibuile ANC ila shikarkaina aifanga ya rikona la. So conference liya ifambe kahle swinene. It was the most successful conference, and it elected a leadership which the delegates of the leader of the conference, delegates that came from amongst all our people. Many of the delegates came from the areas where you, as Thohoyandou, our traditional leaders, are governing and ruling. They came from there, and when they arrived at conference, they said, okay, we can see you top leaders, you have your own ideas about the architecture of the leadership. And they said, we are going to show you how the leadership core of the ANC is going to be made up. And they took one there, they took one there, they took one there, they took another one there, and they said, that is the leadership of the ANC, whether you like it or not. So you see, as we are seated here, we had our own ideas. Each one of us thought, hey, you know, I'd like to work with that one, I'd like to work with that one. And they said, no ways. This is how we are going to construct the leadership. They chose a handsome one there like me. They chose another one who looks like Gwede Mantashe. And then they said, no, we must add some color here. They went to Ace Makashule because he's a little bit lighter. And they went to a shorter one, Jesse Duarte. That's who they chose. And they went for the slim one, real slim one, Imashatil. And then they went for a, little bit darky one who was talking about unity, and then they said, that's the one. So now that is the architecture of the leadership. Now that is what the delegates said they want. And we as the top six, and after that, of course, they chose the 80 people who are now part of the ANC, of the National Executive Committee. Now it's a wonderful combination. It's a great combination because we come from different sides. We come from different approaches. We are gifted in different ways. Our experiences are different, and our educational profiles are different, and many of the things that we have are very different. And that combination, in my view, is a powerful combination. It's a very good combination that the ANC should use to take our country forward. That is what we should do. You know, Nelson Mandela, for me, was one of the greatest teachers. When Nelson Mandela, as he was leading the ANC, he used to listen very carefully and look around to the people that he was leading. As soon as he saw people who held a different view to his, he brought them closer to him. Because he said, these are the people that I need to take the ANC forward. And he said, I don't only want people who think like me, I want people who think in a different way. And those are the people he brought closest to him. That is what made him successful. So today, that's what we have. We have a beautiful architectural makeup of the leadership of the ANC, the top six, as well as the NEC. And we are saying these are the leaders that were chosen by representatives of our people from all over the country. This is the leadership that is supposed to take the country forward for the next 5 years. Not for the next 2 years, not for the next 3 years, but for 5 good years. That is the leadership that must work for our people. Now, this leadership is who we are presenting to the whole country and saying, we want you to support this leadership. We want you to have confidence in the ability of this leadership to take South Africa forward. Because in the end, what the ANC chooses as its leaders becomes the leadership of the country going forward. We also at that conference decided on a whole number of issues, many issues. Mabona, in the ANC, we are the reservoir of the best policy positions that any organization has ever had in the history of South Africa. Yeah? There is no other organization that has developed as great and good policy positions as the African National Congress. So in that conference, we also, the delegates, almost 5,000 delegates, then took time to discuss policy matters, and they took decisions. Now, the delegates late atirilaya ku represent abantu bakahina throughout the length and the breadth of the country. Those delegates had gone there to represent the views, the feelings, the aspirations, you name everything, of our people. The ANC is the only organization that has carpet presence throughout South Africa. If you go to Ngwavuma, which is right in the North KZN, near the border with Mozambique, you will find a branch of the African National Congress. If you go to Kleinsier, which is right on the west, many of you don't even know the name Kleinsier. Kleinsier is a branch that is right on the northern part of Northern Cape, right on the seaside. This is the sea, this is Namibia, and this is Kleinsier and Koinas. There is a branch of the ANC there. That branch was also represented. You go to Musina, the northern part of Limpopo where we are. The branches were represented. You can go to the southern Cape, the southern tip of the Cape, they were there. So the whole country was represented at this conference. So these almost 5,000 delegates were there to represent your views, the aspirations of our people, their feelings, and everything. And they spoke. They spoke about their experiences. They spoke about their challenges. They spoke about the difficulties of our people. They spoke about everything. And arising from that conference, we then took a number of decisions. And I'll just highlight a few because the decisions that were taken, lava vaendla ku the internet and so forth, bangati kumaka the internet. But the key decisions that were taken revolved around the economy. The delegates leti titelo ku tilanguta kuri South Africa ime kwina tibona kuri economy ya hina ai fambi kahle. Swa laveka kuri we must do something about the economy of our country. They then said, we want a very radical process of economic transformation. We want our economy to be changed. They looked at the structure of our economy. Kuri economy ya hina ime njani na. Bakuma kuri the economy of our country is still controlled and owned and managed by the same people who have always been managing the economy of our country for decades and hundreds of years, and they are white. And the ANC delegate says, no, we must change this. 24 years later after freedom, we cannot have a situation where our people are locked out of economic activity of a meaningful nature. So take the decisions that are forward-looking on speeding up the radical socio-economic transformation of our country and of our economy. So a number of resolutions were taken, and the key one was that we must transform the economy, the ownership patterns, the control patterns, and the management patterns. But we must also make our economy to recover. We must lead the recovery process of our economy. Loko hi languta kuma ku ri economy ya hina inga kula hi 5%, at least ikula hi 1%. Hi vona ku ri kuna gap leyikulu kwalaho, falo ku ri hi kurisa economy leyi ku endlela yini na, ku endlela ku ri we must address the three challenges that still beset our people. Unemployment, ku hava mintirho, vanhu vo tala laha South Africa va hava mintirho, va fika ka 9 million vanhu lava nga tirhiko. And conference yi vonile ku ri swa boha ku ri yi endla swilo swin'wana ku ri vanhu va kuma mintirho. Swa vumbirhi a yi ringani, ku na van'wani va na mali yo tala swinene, van'wani va hava mali, and van'wani futhi va hana leswi nga tivisa we can call the assets. They don't have assets, others have assets. There's asset poverty, which leads to inequality. And there is just poverty. And in fact, more than 50% yabantu lava tshamaka la South Africa va hlupheka. Kuna leswi vitanaka poverty hi xilungu. Poverty has now increased. There was a time when we brought down poverty. Isa hansi swinene. Then we took measures such as the grant, such as wendla sure ku ri vana va hina va nghena xikolo, ku va na fee-free school and so forth. So poverty ku hlupheka ku ya hansi swinene. Manje loko economy inga tirhi hi ndlela leyi lavaka ku ri tirha yona, hi kuma ku ri poverty i karhi iya henhla futhi. So conference then was seized with this matter. It looked at this matter and said, we've got to take drastic action to bring down the levels of poverty, to increase employment, and to reduce inequality. And some of the measures that were then decided on were, firstly, we must increase investment in our economy. We must attract investors. We must make South Africa an investment destination. Those who are thinking of investing in South Africa, we must bring them in like a magnet. We must pull them. Kurbati samalita bona la. Hi akati factory, hi etla mintirho. So South Africa must therefore be an attractive investment destination. Now this one is a simple one because many countries want to attract investment. Nibulana America, the United States of America has become a big investment destination. Many companies are going to invest in America. You would have thought the Americans have all the money that they want, but they are doing everything to attract investors. China Nayona, it attracted investors. Investors are going there. And we said to ourselves, we want to work hard to attract investors because investors bring money. Investors bring hard currency. As long as they will comply with our laws, our standards, and everything that we want. They must bring their dollars, they must create jobs, our people must have jobs. And we also said, we want our own people, black people, Banwantima, they must also be the ones la vanga kota ku ri va nghena ka ti opportunities ta ku aka ti-factory. So hi program leyi ya hina ya black industrialists hi lava ku ri vanhu vo tala va vantima va nghena ka ti-program leti na vona va kuma chance ya ku aka mintirho. We also want to help the small medium enterprises lava va na ti-company letitsongo, and we want to do it all over the country. Hi lava ku ri vanhu loko va lava ku pfula ti-business ta vona va kuma ku ri government is ready ku ri I va pfuna. So ka economy hi te we want to see real radical action, and it ta swi endla whether vanhu va swi rhandza kambe a va swi rhandzi, hi ta swi endla this year ku ri ntirho wa hina wu ya mahlweni. And hi lava ku ri na leyi ya black economic empowerment na yona I ya mahlweni ku ri hi change the ownership patterns of our economy. Swin'wana hi te loko hi languta misava, the land question, hi kume ku ri since 1994 ku na swo tala leswi nga swi endla ku ri vanhu va kuma misava, va tirha misava leyi va rima and so on, but swa famba slow, very very slow. Kwa ri na tindhawu to tala which were taken away from our people. Lots of land was taken away from our people, and the conference almost unanimously said, we want our land back. The land that was taken away from our people must be returned, and we must go and take that land, the expropriation without compensation, because imsaba wa hina. Now, you know, they recalled in 1912, loco, you know, when your forebears formed the ANC, that is what made them go and form the ANC. Sometimes we forget that. The thing that ignited and got our traditional leaders to stand up on their 2 feet was the land question. Because the then colonialist government and oppressive government had already put bills before Parliament, the Land Act, and they had already taken a lot of land, and that is why our kings and our traditional leaders fought gallant battles, because land was being taken away from them. So in 1912, our forebears formed the ANC. So hina manjeni, at the 54th conference, we said we must correct what the sin that was done against our people before 1912 and way in the colonial days. So, but we also said, as we take land, we must make sure that the economy does not suffer. We must also make sure that food security is not compromised and food production is not destroyed. Now, those are the things that we need to look out for. Now, they are not things that will be impediments and stop us, but they are things that we must take into account and be smart and be clever, but be decisive at the same time, because the original sin that was committed against our people, where their land was taken cruelly, brutally, with blood being spilled, is something that has to be addressed, and we now have an opportunity to correct that error, that terrible mistake that was done. We now have been given the tools, the wherewithal to go ahead and do what our forebears sought to do when they formed the African National Congress in 1912. And we do it without any apology. We will not apologize to anyone, because this is the right thing to do, and we are going to do it. So that's one of the decisions that was taken. The other decisions that were taken was on education. Corey, we are now going to look forward to give young people who are going to tertiary education, either to university, to TVET colleges. I know Professor Mphephu, when he was the Vice Chancellor, University of Vha-Venda, and the Chancellor, Bona Vice Chancellor. So I teraswi when Professor Mphephu. One of the things that used to be a headache to him was that young people would want to come to university, but they had no money. They came from poor families from here, Kola, Malamulele, poor families from Thohoyandou, poor families from Vha-Venda, poor families from Nzhelele, poor families from this whole province, from as far south as Polokwane. These young people wanted to come to university, but Professor Nkondo knew that they could not accommodate them all because there was no money. So the African National Congress said, yes, we must fulfill the aspiration that was set out in the Freedom Charter. The Freedom Charter said that the doors of learning must be open to all, and the government must assist and fund those, it also said on merit, those young people who want to learn. So we've opened the doors of learning. We've now started the process on an incremental basis of offering young people free education for those young children or people whose families earn up to 350,000. So sikolo sifulekile. So this year the intake at the first years, Bana laba humako at the family which earn less than 350,000, they will be able to be admitted for free education at the TVET colleges taina and also in our universities. That is great progress. Now, those are some of the key decisions that were taken by our conference. So he said, no, let's come here and give you a flavor and a report back where we held a very successful conference, and this conference decided on many things. It chose the leadership, which I've spoken about. It also decided on these. Now I want to end up by talking about two key important things that the conference also decided on. The conference said, as this leadership that has been chosen goes ahead to implement the decisions that were decided on at the conference, we want this leadership to, its work must be underpinned by two things. The first one is unity. The conference said without any fail that we want you as the leaders to unite the African National Congress. You must not do anything that will divide the ANC. That is the mandate that these leaders have been given. A mandate, that is their mandate. And they said, we want you as leaders, 86 of you, including the 18 who come from the provinces, 222 each, to add to the 86, or almost 106. We want you, all of you as the national executive, to be united. We don't want to see divisions amongst you. So that is one of the things that the conference decided. The leadership must be united. The ANC must be united. The ANC at branch level, at regional level, at provincial level, and at national level must be united. They must be one thing, speak with one voice, do the same thing, and take the country forward. So look, their mission is to be united. And I often say, whether they like it or not, they have to be united. Yeah? Whether they like each other or not, they have to be united. That is the mission they were given as a leadership. Namina, that is the mission I was given as the president of the ANC, to unite this leadership and to unite the African National Congress. That is my mission. The other mission we were given is to renew the ANC. To renew the ANC by making the ANC attractive again to our people, so that our people must fall in love with the ANC again. By Ranza ANC, le yabona. That is what is our mission. Renew it, make it attractive, because next year we are going for elections. And we cannot go to elections as a weak African National Congress. We cannot go to those elections limping. We cannot go when we are not all pulling in the same direction, because united we stand, divided we fall. That has to be the operative slogan. So this leadership then has been given precisely that, to unite the African National Congress. And in doing so, to go out and do the right things. We must not do wrong things. And if there are wrong things that are done, we must act immediately to root out those wrong things in the African National Congress. If there are people who are pulling us backwards, if there are people who are rotten tomatoes in the box, rather than have them spoil the whole box, we must root them out, because that is what our revolution requires. So, with that, comrades, it means that all of us then must not be rotten. All of us must be united. All of us must do the right thing. And it's a simple thing. So that is the mandate that we were given. So itela kutamibyela kuri, this is the report from the African National Congress 54th Conference. This is part of the leadership, the top 6, and this is the mission we were given. And it's not my mission as the president, it's the mission of the membership that was given by the membership to the leadership, to all of us. So the ANC then, from now on, is renewed. The ANC is moving forward. The ANC is determined to renew itself, to correct itself, and to move forward to change South Africa in accordance with the decisions that were taken. So the last thing, which also brings us here, we have come here to you as the leaders of our people. After this, we are going to come back again. We are going to come back and go to the areas where you are in charge of, to go and meet our people. Because you see, our election campaign has basically started. We've started our election campaign. It's warming up. It's going to keep, gathering momentum and pace. Now, there's something we want from you. We want something from you. We've come here kukombela general permission. Kurmi pfumela hingena xikarhi ka vanhu va hina. Mingari loko mi vona hi campaigner. Mi ku Ramaphosa u lava yini la? Why anga kombelanga permission? Kambe loko ta DD Mabuza, Deputy President, Miko, DD Mabuza, why is he here? We've come here to say, give us general permission. ku ri hi ta campaigner xikarhi ka vanhu va n'wina. Ku va ka n'wina la, your presence here means that se mi hi nyikile permission. I khensa. So he say he take permission. He go, I can see it on your faces. You've already given us permission. So we are taking the permission. The Secretary General, so it's a really hands. You have already signed even before you sign. We can come amongst our people. So we are here to get general permission. Mphumela ingena xikarhi ka vanhu nkarhi wun'wani hi ta kuma nkarhi ku ri yi ta rungula loko yi nga kumangi nkarhi mi tiva ku ri no lawa se hi va nyike permission a va ngheni va tirha. Xa vumbirhi, the second thing we are here to ask is to ask you to support your movement. Remember, this is your movement. It's not a foreign movement. It is the movement that you formed. We want to remind you, Kori, it's your movement. We want you to support this movement. We have come, we have presented ourselves, we have given you the report from the conference, we have told you where we are taking South Africa, and we have asked your permission to come amongst the people. We now want you to support our movement. You don't have to wear an ANC t-shirt, although we would like it if you wear an ANC t-shirt. You don't have to wear it. All you have to do is to say, yes, this is a movement of our forebears. This is a movement of our great-great-grandfathers and great-great-grandmothers. We support it. We want it to succeed because when we go to elections, we must know, and you must know, that the ANC is going to succeed, is going to win these elections, and it is going to continue with this program of going forward. Lastly, I want to assure you, Korihina as a leadership, we are going to do everything we can to handle everything in our movement carefully, delicately, responsibly, with a view of advancing the interests of our people. And we will not be doing so to advance the interests of any individual, be it myself or anyone else. We will only stand on one thing, to advance the interests of South Africans, because that is who we serve. We are here to serve you as our traditional leaders and as the people of our country. And because we are serving our people, we serve no one else. That's who we serve. And Namikenza, for this opportunity to outline, Kori, the decisions that we took at our conference are going to take South Africa forward. Whether Bashiranza, Kambe Abashiranzi, Yamashweni, Isonales, you can see.
Well, that there was President Cyril Ramaphosa, the president of the ANC, addressing traditional leaders and residents in Malamulele in Limpopo, where he is on a mission to strengthen relationship with traditional leaders. To quote his words, saying renewing bonds with traditional leaders whom he said were instrumental in the formation of the ANC way back in 1912. Now, the other issues he spoke about were the diversity of views and political convictions of the people within the top six, which he said should further strengthen the party. He also related on key decisions that were taken by the governing party's elective conference in Nasrec in December, centering them around the economy, poverty reduction and job creation, land redistribution and restitution, as well as education. Ramaphosa also stressed that unity, the renewal of the ANC, and fighting corruption will be the cornerstone of all future endeavors for the ANC. And he also lastly just assured that the issues within the ANC will be handled carefully and responsibly in order to advance the interests of South Africa. And you will recall that just before that, he also met the Vha-Venda King Toni Mphephu Ramapbulana in Nzhelele outside Thohoyandou, also in Limpopo province. And we understand that Ramaphosa and his team will still be in Limpopo province tomorrow and will continue meeting traditional leaders, among them Queen Mujaji. And of course, we will continue to bring you those as and when they happen. We'll take a short break now, but don't go away. I will return shortly with more news.